Yeah, you may please start the session.
Yeah, sure. Just give me 1 second. So, hello everyone, and welcome to day 4 session of AZ-900 training. I think today we have limited audience. That's fine. So first, let's try to give a recap or a recheck on yesterday's thing, and then we'll proceed with today's topic. Give me a second. I'm sharing my screen. Yeah. So please do let me know if you could see my screen. Yeah, some people are saying good evening. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I think yeah. So yes, till yesterday we have discussed some of the topics related to security, privacy, and compliance, where we discussed NSGs, ASGs, DDoS, what we say, Active Directory, multi-factor authentication, what is a security center, what is RBAC, what are different type of logs which we have. So we have discussed till here. So we have few more topics to discuss. Security. So those are these: monitoring and reports in Azure, privacy, compliance, and data standards in Azure. And then we'll be proceeding to the last topic, the Azure pricing, service level life cycles. So from here, let's say till yesterday, we have a chance to work both to discuss on both technical and, but from now the majority of the things would be as a part of management, because we'll be having technical information, because what are the things we need to cover of AZ-900 is like, you need to understand how we apply for what we call SLA, or how do we apply for an Azure subscription for our IT industry, or how to apply, how to get a different type of public cloud, a type of private cloud, or how to attain it, what is the process, or what are the standards Microsoft is following to say that its cloud architecture is safe enough. So we need to make sure we have some information on that as well. So those things we'll be covering from today, and maybe we might go tomorrow as well, because there is a bit more to cover. So I'll just try to cover it as per the respective timelines. So that's it. So if you have any queries on yesterday, please do post now. We'll just give a couple of seconds for any queries to be resolved, and then we can start with today's session. So today I'll be starting with Azure Monitor, means from here, describe monitoring and reporting options. So please do post any queries of yesterday's or day before yesterday's, or on the first Monday's session. We just have a couple of minutes as of now. I'll just try to cover it, and we can start it by, it's 4:08 now. I can start it by 4:10 if everybody's fine with it. So I think people are joining. The count is getting increased slightly. Okay, anyways. So I think everybody's clear. There are no questions in the chat box. I think all fine. And can guys give a thumbs up if everybody is fine with it? Okay, I'm getting so many. Okay, nice. Okay. Okay, fine. Then I'm getting responses like everybody is fine till what we discussed till yesterday. So I think we can start with today's session rather than wasting time, we can directly go ahead. Okay, then I'll be starting to assess. Just give me a second. I'll share you the respective slides. Same as yesterday's and day before yesterday's pattern, we'll be doing with the theoretical concepts first, and then I'll be showing you about the practical ones, as there will be a limited practical things. So whatever are there, I'll be showing you that as well. So don't get worried. So the first topic for today is like Azure Monitor. So what is Azure Monitor and what does it do as a part of our Azure infrastructure, or how it runs? Just give me a second. Prithvi, have we shared our YouTube link as well? Are there any people connecting on YouTube? Okay, fine. I think it's available in Telegram. Okay, anyways, we'll proceed with today. So, for today, what we can say is like we'll be starting with our Azure Monitor. So, in Azure Monitor, what are the different phases we have and why we are using Azure Monitor and what it does means. So, what are all the resources which we have in Azure? So, it helps you to monitor all of them. So, what not everything. So, if you are using so there are multiple tools to monitor a set of all your resources. Let's say if you have a container, if you have a virtual machine, you have Microsoft Insights as a part of monitoring solution. So over there, it will help you to analyze the logs. Over there, it will help you to understand what is happening at the back end. Let's say if there is some container crash or an application crash happen. So where would be going and analyzing the logs? For that reason, we have an option called Microsoft Insights, where all the logs would get collected and we can watch it from our Azure Monitor. And when coming to your auto scale or alerts, you can just check it from the Azure Monitor as well. And let's say if you have applications like dashboards, Power BI, we do have a kind of visualize option where everything is available on your Azure Monitor. So the main agenda of your Azure Monitor would be capture all the metrics which are being collected at the backend and try to showcase it as a part of a table or a chart or a pie chart or a bar chart. It just help you with the details in a kind of a chart. And coming to as a technical perspective, we do have every information as a part of logs. So being any IT professional, log is a very important thing. So if there is something running in a proper way, we don't need log. Let's say if things are not running as expected, then definitely we need to analyze the log, where it stopped, at what time it got stopped, let's say what is the root cause. So there, in as a part of service management terminology, we can say root cause management, root analysis management. So there are multiple parts of things like that. So to prepare all those reports, we'll be needing the logs and the information which is getting displayed on our solution. So here the solution is Azure. So the logs are getting collected and you can monitor it from your Azure Monitor. So what is metrics means? It is the level where you maintain the thresholds. Let's say you can activate a metric for your application. You have a web application, and if there are more than 5,000 requests hitting the web application, then you can activate a metric stating that, see, if there are requests more than 5,000 are trying to hit my web application, just give me an update or just try to give me a notification stating that limit is crossing, so that I can go and do something over there and try to fix the issue. Because let's say your web application is able to handle only 7,000 requests, but unfortunately more than 5,000, 6,000 web requests are getting accumulated in that area. So how you will monitor? What is the point of having this monitoring means? So you will be activating the relevant metric stating that, see, if the percentage crosses this much, you need to alert me. Then Azure will give you a notification via your email, or it will create one kind of what we call in service management, we have a point like incident management. So those kind of service management tools we can implement, and you can make sure everything is in control. So that is the main functionality of your Azure Monitor. Next would come your Azure Service Health. So what is Azure Service Health is like, so you have multiple data centers, multiple networks, multiple connections which are happened at the cloud data center. So at that point of time, we have no control over it. We are not sure what is happening at the target end. So to monitor those things, to monitor at the on ground level, let's say if there is a service network outage at your data center, how we would know, how we would be getting notifying for that, and how we would know, yes, there is an outage and we need to make sure that things go properly, how we will know. So for those kind of things, we have Azure Service Health, where it monitors all the services which you have consumed from Azure, whether your service is working or not, whether it is stopped, whether it is started, whether it is crashed, whether it is there is some outage at your location, target location. So those kind of different parameters or different things which we have, right? So it helps to monitor your health of all your services and make sure you are in a stabilized environment. Just for information, you can say in this way. So see, this is one of a chart which we can see from the portal.azure.com website, where a person has 6 services, but 6 running from 6 different areas, but those reasons has no issue. So if you come here, you can see like there is a one issue. What is the issue? It's like a connectivity issue at one of a region in North Europe at some time. So there is an, let's say that is something related like a network issue which has happened, where multiple customers got affected, and it is not with your only organization, because in a data center there are more than multiple companies will be there, multiple company clouds will be hosted over there, there are public clouds, private clouds, so many things will be there. So if there is a network attack or a network outage on a data center, then it would be overall same for every other customer, not only one customer. So every customer is seen. So those kind of issues you can monitor from your Azure Service Health. So actually you need to know what is the basic difference between Azure Monitor and Azure Service Health. Actually both sound very similar. Azure Monitor is for the resources which you create in your Azure, whether it is like a virtual machine, whether it is a container, whether it is an IoT, whether it is an Azure DevOps, whatever it is. So whatever resources you have, right, to have stable monitoring in place to make sure that resource is working fine, that resource is strong enough to withstand all those things. So at that point of time, you will be using your Azure Monitor. Azure Service Health is like, it is in a broader perspective, where your data center there is issues, where your cables are not connected, where your network outage is getting happened from one network, from one data center to another data center, where a set of CPUs got affected. So it is at a higher level. It's a broader picture, not inside our subscription or not inside our resources. It is outside, which happens at the site end. So that is a basic difference between an Azure Monitor and Azure Service Health. You need to be sure why this and why not that. This is different and that is different. So this will give a simple answer for Azure Monitor. Azure Monitor collects all the data from you and analyze and create alerts on it. So that is the thing which I said. So by activating the metrics, you can keep a track of it. Let's say my CPU utilization is 100%. How would I know? For that reason, we'll be activating a metric and saying like, if my CPU utilization is crossing 95%, I need to get an alert. That is a metric. So then if it is crosses 95%, then it will be notified to you. Who will notify? The monitoring services will notify to you, and you can view it in the Azure Monitor. So it is specific to the application which I just said, and it is specific to all the actions or all the resources which you create inside Azure. So Service Health is like a general alerts across all over Azure, not only for you. So in your subscription, you may have around 10 resources, but Azure has hundreds of subscriptions. If the issue is at a subscription level, then it will comes with Azure Service Health, not with Azure Monitor. So coming to compliance terms, people might have heard these things like what is a GDPR, what is ISO, what is NIST. So these are a part of certification bodies in multiple regions. GDPR comes in your UK, where global data protection right, your ISO international standards organization something, or NIST, where National Institute of Standard and Technology. So these are certification bodies which give a certificate to Microsoft Cloud stating that your service or else the service which is providing by Microsoft is strong enough and clients can trust it at their region. It's like simple to say, just like simple example, it's like ISO in India. In India, we have ISO 9001, something is there, right? The same in multiple regions, in multiple countries, in multiple continents, we have these certification bodies which enable us in stating that the service which is providing by the service provider is a strong and a stable one, and people can buy and utilize it in the respective region. Let's say GDPR, it is like it is useful in your UK region. It's not only for UK region, but it's an entire all over the world. But for UK region, you have separate set of rules. Those things we will be checking that compliance terms as well in the further slides. I'll show it to you. So different standards all over the world. In India, we follow ISO, and other countries which we just discussed, GDPR, NIST. So we follow different standards. So some of the standards, you need those standard approvals and those standard certificates to make sure the product which the person is selling is proper and appropriate. So Microsoft always claims it's to be in compliance with many of them, yes, because the type of service which you get from Azure is not what we call, it's not a negligible kind of service, or it's not a negligible kind of resources which we create in Azure. It is at a very high level. So that is the reason it will comply with all the terms and make sure whatever resources or whatever services it is providing in different parts of the world should be approving, or should be in a way following their standards, their policies. So has the tools to help the compliance with others. Yes, it follows the tools for other countries and other regions as well. So this is GDPR, which I just said. GDPR is like General Data Protection Regulation. EU means it is for European Union. So it is applicable in your European region, where a set of countries in Europe region like Germany, France, Italy, Spain, so many companies, so many countries come under here. So whenever a client, or not an individual body, whenever company based out of UK region, or whenever one IT person planning to implement Azure UK region, then the service provider should have a certificate from that to make sure that his service or his is as per the norms, is prepared as the norms of the European Union. So these are the rules which are laid down by GDPR, and Microsoft follows the rules, and what Azure which is released to is in compliance, definitely in compliance with all these rules. Next, coming to ISO, International Organization of Standardization. So we have two things, Azure and Azure Government. I will be showing you Azure Government in the further slide, so please don't get confused. Both are different, but Azure is different, Azure Government is different, so both are different, but things are similar. I will tell you the differences in the further slides. So these are some of the certifications which are provided by ISO. So Microsoft Azure also complies with these certifications as well. And this is for the quality management, which is delivered by ISO. It is also manageable. This is also one of our certificates. So these all are this. What people may think like, why we are verifying all these things, or why we are what we call why should we know all these things? Because as an individual, maybe these all things might not be much more important to you, but if you are going as a part of a firm, or else if you are approaching Microsoft as an enterprise or as a IT management company, definitely you need to comply, and if you need to follow, and you need to verify whether these rules are applicable, or else the service provider is following these rules or not. These are the set of minimum approvals which a service provider needs to have, and Microsoft Azure complies with everything as per the regions, as per the local governments. So as I already said, this is one of the certification from NIST for cybersecurity framework. Yes, it is also certified and it is in compliance with the security and privacy policies. And for it, you can go to, there is one website called Microsoft Trust Center. I'll be showing that today. So Trust Center, what it is there, why we need to see Trust Center, what is the use of Trust Center is like. Let's say you are installing some application on your machine or also on your computer, on your mobile or somewhere. So when you are doing that, in the mid of installation, something, let's say it's not like big software. Let's say you are installing MS Office in your local laptop or a computer or somewhere. So at there you will have an option called privacy statement or privacy agreement, which is released by the app owner. And you need to definitely, and every time or everyone needs to click on agree and approve. Then only the installation would start, right? So those things we actually generally we don't read. There will be very big pages of documents, maybe 10 pages or 8 pages, where the service provider will be saying all the rules which are laid while developing that app. So we will not follow those things generally. Actually, I also not follow. I'll just click on approve and go ahead. So, or else we can have a line like I accept to the terms and conditions. I don't accept. I accept to terms and conditions. Something like that, right? So let's say it is our computer or our mobile. Only one person is getting affected. But if we are laying down, if we are planning to take one cloud, if we are planning to purchase one subscription and build our IT infrastructure as a part of cloud, then we need to follow and understand each and every line of the terms and conditions document. And you need to verify the certification bodies. You need to verify what is a trust center, why you are different, why Microsoft is different. So you need to know all these things, the privacy policies and all these things. Why? Because let's say in future, if there is some issue and if you go back to Microsoft, they will cleanly show you that this is as a part of my terms and agreement policies. So you need to know all these things. So while you are approaching cloud as a part of enterprise, you will be planning, you will be needing to read all these documents and make sure you are very much clear and thoroughly you are knowledgeable on these things. Maybe as a freshers, maybe as a young engineers, we might not get a chance to read these things, but definitely down the line, maybe after 10 years or 15 years, you will be architects. Maybe you will be in architect's level position, or else you will be in a senior manager positions. Definitely you should be in a position to read this and understand, or else you should be in a position to prepare this document. So it's not unimportant one. It's very important, but maybe it's not the time. But still, you need to understand these things as a part of our AZ-900, because this are delivered by Microsoft, and we need to know all these things before going to certification. So this is privacy statement. As I said, I accept to terms and conditions. We'll just click on yes and we'll proceed ahead. But you need to read these things. But as a part of certification, when you guys are going to take the certification and take the test over there, Microsoft wouldn't be asking you like, let's say there is my privacy statement. In that, what is mentioned in line number 14, page number 20. You don't get these kind of questions anywhere. So it will say like, okay, whether it will ask you a question like whether Microsoft Azure is in compliant with GDPR or not. Yes, it is in compliance. You need to select yes. Let's say it may ask you like, does Microsoft has a Microsoft Trust Center where it maintains the different kind of securities, different kind of certifications which are awarded to Microsoft or not. You need to say yes or no. Yes, because if you have seen the trustcenter.microsoft.com website, then you would know what is there. So you need to be in that position. Nothing to go there, edit it and brainstorm. No need like that. So you just need to understand, okay, why this is privacy. Okay, if it is privacy statement, then what it is there in privacy statement. That's it. So this is a website where you need to visit if you want to check for the privacy statements released by Microsoft. And this is the privacy statement which is released by Microsoft. It's like, again, I'm repeating, it's like no need of reading everything, keeping in our mind, and what to by hearting everything. You just need to understand what it is. That's it. No need of by hearting, no need of what we call preparing notes for these all things. It is just a part of section where it just tries to, the certification level, it just tries to check with you, okay, do you know that we have a privacy statement or not? It is still there only, it is still that level only, nothing to go beyond of it. So if you are comply, if you know privacy statement is there, then you could choose yes. If you don't know that there is a privacy statement which is released by Microsoft, then definitely you choose no, and that one question may lead you to fail your certification. So you just need to know these are small basics, but everything is important. Not only technical things, you need to know the managerial things as well when you are preparing for AZ-900. Because if you move your career to AZ-104, AZ-204, AZ-120, AZ-500, these are multiple other exams or other career roles. If you move there, then over there you will be having only technical things, nothing related to management, nothing related to these all kind of things. These are very limited. Maybe in the whole exam you may get a chance of 2% or 3% or 5% maximum, nothing more than that. So but as a part of AZ-900, we Microsoft didn't plan to cover complete technical over here. It planned to cover both technical and management over here. So we should be knowing this information, and so that we can proceed ahead with our certification. So next, trust center. I just said we do have a trust center in Microsoft. You can visit the trust center by going to the website microsoft.com trust center / cloud services.azure. So in this trust center, you will have the different bodies. You have GDPR over there, which we just discussed. What are different rules laid by GDPR? So it happens in that way. It's, I already said, and again repeating, nothing to by heart. Just need to understand. So this is a part of Trust Center website. So you just need to, no need of checking everything, but no, okay, we have privacy. What is Azure government? What is Azure for industries? What is the Azure compliance policy it is following? What are different certificates it is awarded? So that way. So Service Trust Portal. So this is one of an important one, Service Trust Portal. So over here in the Service Trust Portal, you will get a chance to take assessments, not our test assessments. It is as a part of security assessments, what we call say cyber attack assessments and Azure blueprints. Let's say you are planning to build something, or else you are planning to get a guide, compliance guide. So these kind of things you'll get it over there. I think people might know about white papers. White paper is like you'll be taking one topic and you will be mastering over it and preparing one document and keeping it enabled so that it will be shared with everybody. So that kind of white papers you have FAQs for security, you have FAQs for compliance policies. So different kind of things are there. So those you need to make sure. You just need to just for a while, for 5 minutes or 10 minutes when you are normally browsing, you can just go through this website and understand, okay, what is there, why it is kept here, what are the different tests are conducted. So you just need to know this one. So next is your compliance manager. That is also a part of regulatory compliance, which you need to know, or different kind of tools which we have to do the assessment. There is one tool called workflow based risk assessment, where you can understand how assessment happens, how do they assess your existing infrastructure, or else how do you assess your planned DevOps website, or sorry, DevOps model over there on Azure. How do you plan your IoT hosting on Azure? So you can plan these things, how it happens and why it happens. So not why, how it happens only. So to go to your compliance manager, you just need to go to your trust portal, and there you will get a chance of compliance management. So this is one of a screen in your compliance manager. And one more thing, compliance manager, you can go with your Office 365 accounts only. It cannot be running with your normal Gmail accounts or some other accounts. You will be having an Office 365 account, and when you have it, you can just log in over there and check for the compliance and verify how it runs. So coming to the main one, this is your Azure Government Services. What is Azure Government Services and why we need to know Azure Government? and whether normal Azure.com is different and Azure government is different. So by seeing the name only, we can easily understand like Azure. It's for, let's say, to enable us to easily understand, I'll just keep for between Azure government services. If you modify it, it will get for Azure for government services. It means the cloud service provider for government, to maintain government's information, to maintain government's policies, government income tax, government payments, challans, whatever it is, whatever is the region, wherever is the area, whether it is US, whether it is India, whatever it is. So just to maintain all the government policies, just to maintain, to function the government, different bodies which we have in government, right? We are finance department, or right, what we call registration department, or home department. So multiple departments are there, right? So to manage all these things, government cannot invest their amount in what we call shared areas. See, when you go with a private entity is always different when compared to a public entity. So private entity is different. When you come for public entity, means government kind of things, you should be much more stronger and much more your rules, the way you store the information, the area you store the information, the data center store the information should be unique, and it should be at an isolated area. It should not share with someone. You cannot share your Azure data center, Azure government data center with an Azure private company data center. See, you have a private company, some X company, you have it, and you have a government. Maybe that is, let's say it is Andhra Pradesh, and I have some other private company running in Andhra Pradesh. I cannot share both the clouds in one data center, because government is always different. It should be the isolated one, and it should be hosted separately. So that is a reason we have Azure government services, which is similar to Azure, but everything is isolated and everything is completely different. So the way which we run in Azure Global, the same way, same tools, same virtual machines, same network security groups, and what we call what all we've learned till yesterday or today, whatever we see, everything is same. Azure Monitor or Azure Service Provider, everything is same. But the data center is completely different, and that data center comprises only your government embodies. Nothing else would be shared over there. Only government actions, government companies, government models, or government operated third party companies, only those would be running over there, and nothing else. And nothing would be shared between the other companies or other things in that location. So see, the first one will come as a separate account. Everything will be separate and it's not shared, nothing like that. And if for now we should know about US government agencies. So we have federal government, state government, and local government everywhere. So it is separate for them. And after that, so department has its own. So everything is separate. Nothing like shared. Nothing like central government is sharing with state government is sharing with defense government, nothing like that. Everything has its own and everything is separate. So see, it is clearly written, isolated data centers separate from Azure public cloud. We will be not be sharing any of the information or any of existing private companies information or any information with the Azure government. Azure Global is different, Azure government is different. Azure Global has a separate data center, Azure government has a separate data center. And next, meets the standard specifics to government. Yes, the certifications, it has everything. And if the government comes with something else, it definitely get it. So these are some of the rules which are laid down in US regions, US government. This should be compliant, this should be in compliance. Your Azure cloud or your cloud provider should be in compliance with all these things. So these are some of the things. And see, this is the portal you get for your government embodies. For US region, it has prepared portal.azure.us. So if people might observe me when I'm doing hands-on, I go to a website called portal.azure.com, but I don't go to portal.azure.us, because portal.azure.com is for us, means me, you, an IT infrastructure company, or somewhere, any. But portal.azure.us is completely for US government. It is not for US companies also, it is for US government. only for government-based things. So those happens in side. I think people are giving different emojis. I think this would be a bit of what we call complete theoretical session, but I'm sorry, this is a part of syllabus. I do need to cover it, so please do bear with me. If you need to have some technical as well, going ahead, I'll show you those things. So you'll have a different URLs for storage functions and other things which you have resources in Azure. So coming to Azure Germany services, why we are saying Germany services as different and why it is unique? Because in Germany we do have separate accounts, but the data is completely remains in Germany. So what happens is like yesterday, if you have seen me, I can create an account in Central US. I can create an account in East US. I can create an account in Australia. I can create an account in UK, some anywhere. But when it comes with Azure Germany, what happens is like they want all the information to be stored within the German country limits. So it should not go anywhere. So that is the reason Microsoft has established a separate data center in Germany, and that would be serving only for Germany region people and Germany related information. So EU means your European Union. So European Union has a separate data protection rights and rules. So it should definitely need to follow all those things. So this is a German data trustee, as it should obey it. So I'll stop here. So this is the last section in our training. So if you have any queries, please do post now. I think it is a long session, but I have, due to time constraint, I just try to go it. But you can post it now. I can give you 2-3 minutes of time. We can discuss if you have any queries. Then we'll be proceeding with pricing and support. I do understand it's a complete theoretical session, but try to please bear with me. I'm not saying anything new or out of the syllabus. I'm just saying as per the document which is released. So no queries. Everybody's free and fine. Okay, one question luckily. Okay. Does Azure government has extra security measures compared to regular one? Extra security measure means we can say yes, a bit of yes. But what, because see, we may have a feeling like, let's say if I'm using a public cloud, my data and my resources are shared, because I will be sharing my resources or my data or whatever I have, I'll be sharing with other what we call customers. So I may have a belief like my information is getting shared, my information is being maybe tampered. In that way, I may be in that impression. But if you go to Azure government, what happens is like not a single rack, not a single floor, not a single building. Everything is as per government rules and government area. So there is no point of sharing, and the security measures are tight enough just to make sure information is strong. It's like a myth when we say, when we go for a public cloud, people have a myth like maybe my information is shared between other resources. Yes, it is shared, but not your data. It's for your resources. Your data, your VNet, it will be not shared anywhere. Okay, is Azure Monitor is cost based or a free of cost like Azure Advisor? Azure Monitor, I believe it is free of cost, I think so, but it is not like Advisor. So I just need to once check it. I'll check it and I'll let you know. But if you check for Azure Insights, it is a cost based. It's not a free of one. So we can say like it is cost based only. But I need to confirm on it. Okay. So only 2 questions for today at 4:40 break. Okay, then if everybody is fine, please give a thumbs up so we can proceed, or you can post your queries. Okay, nice. Okay, fine. What are cloud system used by our Indian government? So cloud system used by our Indian government, what we say is like, I don't think so Indian government is using as of now cloud based. US region has a cloud-based one. Germany has a separate. China has a separate. But I'm not sure Indian government is using cloud. So I cannot. What we say. I don't think it is available as of now. Okay. So I think if everything is fine, then we can proceed ahead on this one. And I think we had I think one of a question we had about Indian government. I can that one in a different way. It's like we have a separate cloud for our Indian. We call it as national cloud. It is NIC. If you guys just try to check for it, you get a chance to verify Indian cloud. Indian cloud means it is based on our government, our internal things. So it is based for all the information which is shared for us and our country. It will be shared over there, I believe. So if you have a chance, you can check it. It is NIC, National Cloud. Okay, so we can proceed ahead. So now coming to the last topic in our training, it is Azure pricing and support. So in the starting, I'm saying you guys, it is completely theory here, where you have chunks of data which is technical, where you can see Azure Help Center, Azure Support Center, and some concepts where we do have technical sections over here. Apart from that, these help to build your SLAs, and these help to build your what we call different kind of understandings where you can understand. Okay, let's say in the first session I have created, or first or second session we have created one virtual machine, right? So at that time I said like it may cost you 1 rupee per an hour or 1 rupee per GB, something like that, right? So how it costs, how are the different costs are incurred here, or let's say I will show you some of the resources and the costing, how it happens in Azure. So you might get an understanding, okay, how it is getting costed and how Azure is generating a bill for us and where that bill is getting stored, and what is a tool to verify that cost analysis and cost management and do it, and what are all the free tools. And I think we just had a question, right, whether do we have free tools or not. So what are all the free tools which we getting as a part of Azure, where there will be no cost and nothing. Let's see, if you use a virtual machine, you need to pay cost, but if you use a resource loop, there is no point of paying cost. So in that way, what are the resources we have for free and what we are paying, and if we are paying, how much we are paying. Those things we'll be covering as of now. Okay, so this is a syllabus page of what we'll be covering, but we should understand before going to Azure pricing and support. So just proceeding, I'll just show you the standard one. So I think it is visible, and this is the earlier one. That's an old one which we have. So this is the latest one. So here, if you can see what is describe an Azure subscription, uses and options with Azure subscription, subscription management with management groups, planning and management costs, pricing calculator, cost of ownership, what is an SLA, how to use tags to identify cost owners, zone and billing purposes. So different kinds of concepts are there over here. So we'll be going one by one here and understanding these areas. So the first comes your Azure subscription. Just 1 second. Everything is fine from my end, right? My voice, the way we are going, and the screen you are seeing, everything is fine, right? Okay. Okay, fine. So proceeding. So coming to Azure subscription. So what is a subscription? Previously, we just discussed a very little information of subscription. It's like it is given to the owner, or a subscription is the major thing in Azure. And in subscription, we have resource groups in that way, which we told. But what is a subscription and how it is managed? Subscription is your billing unit. So you will get billing as per the subscriptions you have. In your subscriptions, you will be having all your resources. Basing on your resource utilization, your subscription bill is captured, and you need to pay it as a part of monthly payments through your credit card or some way, which your enterprise would decide. So how to do this? Users have access to one or more subscription. Yes, we can have access. I can have access to X subscription and I can have access to Y subscription because I have some resources in X, I have some resources in Y. So I can get an access to both the subscription. Not only one, I can get for both. So all resources consumed by subscription will be billed to the owner. Yes, every subscription has one owner. Owner in the sense, what we say is like every subscription, in every subscription we have an option of payment or where we mention our credit card details, right? So the card owner, who is the card owner, is the owner of that subscription. So he will be notified. He deducted as a part of what we say this information calculation and all these things. So everything will be maintained by him, and the charges will be forwarded to his account and it will be automatically deducted as already discussed. So okay, can be used to organize resources into completely distinct accounts. Yes, I will show you one chart which will be easy. Yes, this is the chart. This is one I'm trying to check from so many times, from so long time. You got it. So what is this? You can easily understand what is a subscription over here. So at the top you have your Microsoft Azure account. It means your cloud account which you have purchased from Microsoft. Over the bottom you have divided all your Microsoft Azure account into 3 subscriptions, where first is your HR subscription, second is your finance subscription, third is your marketing subscription, and inside of it you have multiple tools. Ignore the resources which are inside the subscription and concentrate only on the subscription. Why we have segregated means we have multiple teams in our any IT enterprise. See, you are working in some company. In that company, you have an HR team, you have a marketing team, you have a sales team, you have a IT development team, you have an administrator team. So many teams are there, right? So just to make sure how costs are getting incurred at this area, how we are paying how we need to pay the amount. Let's say if everything comes under one subscription, we cannot segregate the things. We cannot segregate who has utilized more or from where the heavy utilization is coming or where we are lagging or where we are running behind our budget. So at that point of time, to make sure those things, we have created multiple subscription and shared between multiple teams so that we can make sure, okay, HR team has a budget of $1,000 per month and they should not cross $1,000. Finance team has $2,000 of budget and they should not cross 2,000 budget, and it have resources inside of it. And we can also plan the budget details as well. So let's say if I keep my, let's say if my resource is getting utilized heavily, then I can keep a notification that, so if it crosses, if my budget comes 50%, let's say my budget is $1,000 per month. So if $500 are already utilized by the existing resources, I can keep a notification to my email or somewhere, some app, something like that, and make sure I'm notified. Then I may have a chance to ask the relevant team to run it a bit slow or what we call deallocate the unnecessary resources, because my budget is crossing the limit. Just to make sure I am in my budget and I am running as per the budget. So that segregation we can get from our subscriptions. So now management groups. So management groups would be sitting in top of subscriptions. So this is your management group, your Contoso root group, marketing team group. It has a Dever test subscription. So EA subscription, pay as you go subscription. So there are multiple types of subscriptions also. So subscription has different types. You have a free trial subscription, you have a pay as you go subscription, you have dev and test subscription. So different types of subscriptions also you have. But you may ask me why we have different type of subscriptions, why not a single type of subscription? See, if you as an individual, see, when I am showing you the practical sessions, I do log into portal, right? So I am an individual. I'm not using my company's ID, or else I'm not approaching Microsoft to provide me an IT-based subscription. No, right? I have a free account. So for free account, we call it as free trial. And free trial subscription is one of our subscription which we have in Azure. And pay as you go subscription means what happens is like you as an individual completed your free trial. So you will be getting credits of I think $100 or $200. $100 is 7,000. So you will be getting credit of $200. So $200 will be summing up around 13,000 rupees for a month. So for a month you have free access, and you have access up to $200 where you can utilize Azure resources and generate a bill up to $200, and which is entirely free. So if you are doing that, your $200 are completed, or else your 1 month period validity is completed. Then you still need your resources. You still want your account to be active. You still plan to do some other changes in your account, or you still want to learn or plan something in your account. Then you will be going to the subscription called pay as you go subscription, where the things you use you need to pay. So if you have utilized your virtual machine for 10 hours, you will be paying 2 rupees per hour. So that day the cost will be incurred as 10 into 2, 20 rupees. So 20 rupees will be sent to your cost management. And for that day, you will be paying 20 rupees. And that 20 rupees will be paid by you at the end of your month when your credit card bill generates. And if you go for EA subscription, means your enterprise agreement subscription. So you are going as a part of your organization, your IT company organization, and you are running it. So at that time, you can go in this way, your enterprise model subscription, and you can run your cloud as expected. So this is some of the management groups and subscription groups. So purchasing products and services by using your subscription, you need to have a subscription to purchase something. So purchase the different kind of subscriptions which I said, pay as you go subscription and your enterprise EA subscription. These are the two types. You also have your free trial as well, but it's not mentioned over here. It's just it's a high level thing, so you have only two. And negotiated minimum spend annual custom prices. So this you will get as a part of your enterprise subscription. So if you are one user, you cannot start negotiating with Azure saying that see, for now I cannot pay 2 rupees for 1 GB, give me 1 rupee for 1 GB. So you cannot do like that. So you may get a negotiation, but if you are going as a what we call enterprise, if you are going as a part of an enterprise, or else you are going as a high level organization, right? At that point of time, you may go, you can negotiate and you can plan it. And from purchase from a Microsoft partner, you can say it as Microsoft Cloud Solution Provider. It is CSP, and it is your partner in cloud. So free account, which I just discussed, Azure free account. So guys, everybody can keep a much more concentration over here, because let's say post this sessions, people would be planning to practice at least once before taking their test. At least you need to have a look and feel how a cloud will run, and how Microsoft Azure will be there, right? So at that time, you need to take a Azure free account. So there are two ways. I already discussed it, but as a part of this last section, I need to discuss. The one thing will be with your credit card, and the second one would be your Office 365 account. So if you have an Office 365 account, you can get it for free. And no, I don't think you need to maintain your credit card over there. Let's say if you don't have your Office 365 account, then definitely you need to maintain your credit card, and you can proceed ahead. Without maintaining your credit card, I don't think you cannot proceed. But I do sometimes heard like we can maintain our debit card and go as well, but I don't think it is possible, and I didn't try it. So the people who have credit card, please take one free account, get a look and feel of it, and you can proceed with it. Let's say if you are studying and if you don't have a credit card, then you can request your college people, but not every college has Office account, Office 365 validity, right? Now due to this pandemic, multiple colleges are opting for virtual sessions, and they are buying licenses for Office 365. And as a part of Office 365, you will be getting a chance, you will be getting one account for Microsoft Outlook and Microsoft Teams and Microsoft Chat, Skype, Microsoft SharePoint. You'll be getting accounts for this, right? So using that account also, you can get your Azure free account. So how you get, you can go to this website and book your free account. So this is the one I just said. You will get $200 for the first 30 days. not you need to convert it as part of INR. When you convert $200 to INR, it will be around 13,356 or somewhere like that. So you will be using that credits, and basing on that credits, you can utilize all the resources which you have in Azure. I'm getting some smileys. I'm not prepared. I'm not saying any jokes, guys. Maybe people are much more interested in this. So you have so basing on that one, you will be taking your credit, and it is valid for the first 30 days. And after 30 days, it's on the website, it is mentioned like you will be having account for 1 year. Yes, 1 year it is there, but your credit validity is for 30 days only. Within 30 days, you need to utilize it. If you don't utilize it, it is entirely fine. Everything will be lapsed, and it will be deleted. You will be getting reminder mails as well. If you are planning to change your subscription from free trial to pay as you go, if you don't change, it is entirely fine. No need of responding. You can ignore it. Your account will be deleted, and Azure will be taking back all the resources and all the infrastructure which is invested on your resources, and everything will be freed up. So it is entirely fine if you don't respond also. And one more thing, when you are using your credit card, just ensure like you delete your billing. See, you are near to completion of your 30 days. At that point of time, if you are using a credit card and everything is done, you can just delete your credit card, so that if, and one more thing, if you delete your credit card, your subscription would be deleted automatically. Your subscription would not be available if you delete your credit card. So you can delete your credit card and your subscription won't be deleted, and there will be no issues. You no need of getting scared that my money would be deducted from it, nothing like that. So this is the one I said, 12 months of free services. Yes, you will get free services, but those are completely different. Not the services which we use. Those services are completely different. Maybe we may not get a chance to use them, but if people are much more interested and want to explore more, you can use them as well. But somewhere or not, you may need to pay the amount, and you need to change your version to pay as. So some services are already always free. Yes, I said like we will be covering what all the services which we can get free for lifetime in Azure. So factors affecting the cost. So what are the factors which are affecting the cost? So different services are built based on different factors. Yes. How, you may ask me like how it is getting built, or what are the factors to create my bill. So I'll just take a pause here. It's queries time. You can ask if you have any queries. Please do post it. We'll clear those and we'll go with this. And now from here, it is not a theoretical one. We'll be going through multiple websites, and I'll be showing you how costing will happen. Okay. Queries time. We have a minute for queries. No queries. Everybody understood again? Okay, what is Azure Sandbox subscription and how is it useful? Yes, Azure Sandbox subscription, what we can say is like, I think it was a nice and a valid question by Ramya. So guys, please remember this one. I thought of telling you, I forgot it. But what is Azure Sandbox is like, you may know this option when you go through learnings in Microsoft website. You have website. I will give you the websites as well. And I think people are getting worried for the PPTs, or people are getting worried for the documents to be shared. Don't worry at all. We have a complete session tomorrow for all these queries and all the doubts related to certification and all the learning resources we need to make sure. So don't get worried. Please do bear with me. Tomorrow I'll cover everything. Don't worry. So now coming back to the question, what is Azure Sandbox subscription and how it is useful? Yes, Azure Sandbox subscription is like, see, when you are learning on Azure website, it will ask you for a task to complete. See, it's not like everything is theoretical. There should be something practical as well when you are learning. So for some practical sessions, what Microsoft recommend is like, You need to go to their website and do that practical and understand, get a hands-on over it and get a feel of it. So for that, Microsoft is offering you an Azure Sandbox. So what is Sandbox? Sandbox is an environment which is non-productive and which is of no use. You will be going there, doing whatever you want, making the mess you are planning to do whatever. You can delete, reconfigure, multiply configure, whatever. There will be no restriction over there. You do whatever over there, and after some time, your sandbox will be completely deleted and all the hardware will be procured back by Microsoft. So you can get this subscription when you are going through Microsoft Learning on docs.microsoft.com website, where in some sections you will get a chance of Azure Sandbox. When you can click on Azure Sandbox, it will be redirecting to you to the portal.azure.com, and over there it may ask you to do the practical sessions. So you may get a chance to run the sandbox while configuring a virtual network, and there will be an option like free sandbox. If you click on free sandbox, it will go to portal.azure.com, and over there you whatever described in your document, right, you can copy you can just manually do it. You just go through all the options, explore it and do it, and after some time there will be around 2 hours or 3 hours per every sandbox. After that time, everything will be deleted. So I believe per day you can utilize up to 10 sandboxes, and if you utilize first one, you will get an option 2 by 10, 3 by 10, 4 by 10. If 10 are utilized, then for the day it is done. You may need to come back tomorrow and you will be utilizing your next set of sandboxes. So that is a playground area for everyone, not you, not me, anyone. So next, if person has Office 365 account, Azure can be accessed, and for how many days? Yes, same, everything is same and everywhere is same. 30 days is only the free trial. For Office 365 or credit card, anyway you are going, 30 days only is the limit. Within 30 days, $200. If it is completed, then that's done. No point of changing anything. So do you think a student can clear the exam even if doesn't own an Azure account? Will your PPTs and sample questions are enough to clear the test? Okay, the first point, PPTs and sample questions. PPTs, I told you, right, we are working on PPT, and I'm not sure we can provide the respective PPTs, but definitely we'll be providing some resource information. Second one, sample questions. Yes, the sample questions which I am discussing in the sessions are not a random based questions. These are the questions which I faced when I wrote my test. And the third one, without having an Azure account, a person can clear the exam or not. Yes, you are writing the test for AZ-900. It is not a what is called job based test. If you are going for a job-based test like 104, 204, 120, AI 120 or AI 10, something other exams are there. So if you are going for those kind of tests, I strongly don't recommend to go if you don't have hands-on experience over there. But if you are going with AZ-900, it is a mix of both. If you get a chance to practice, then it is so beneficial for you. But if you didn't got a chance to practice, that is also entirely fine, because the resources which you have in docs.microsoft.com are much more enough, and that are more than enough to help you to pass your test. And also you have so many what is called practice tests which are available over internet. You can go there, you can practice, you can understand your knowledge, and then you can plan for your exam. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, I have University Office 365 account and do not own a credit card. Yes, you can get your access. You can get access to portal.azure.com, but there will be one clause when you creating your account. There will be a confirmation email sent to your Office 365 owner account. They need to provide confirmation. I believe what happens is like it will ask you to provide your Office 365 account at the rate. It's like you will be having your account like at the rate on.microsoft.com. Your account will be in that way. So if you provide that ID, if Microsoft website recognizes that ID is active, it is entirely fine. If it doesn't recognize, then it will send you a confirmation email where you need to provide your confirmation by clicking on to the URL which you get on your email. If you have done these two steps, it is entirely fine. they will release your portal.azure.com account and you can practice. And also the same applies for everything, 30 days, $200. So I think again we'll come back to the queries section. Meanwhile, I'll just connect to some practicals. Yes. Don't get scared. I have so many tabs open on my machine. So, but everything is related to pricing only. Nothing new or nothing different. So in this pricing, okay. First we'll go with in a random way. I'll just show you some pricings. Okay. Azure Lab pricing, not this one. I'll set some easy one. Functions. Okay, people might be knowing for Kubernetes, right? So we not containers. I think people might be knowing. Okay, anyways, we'll start with functions. Okay, so functions. So functions we discussed, right? What is a function and how it will help you to prepare your code, deploy it, just copy paste your code and execute it, right? So if you are using Azure Functions app on your Microsoft Cloud, how do you need to pay and how the pricing will happen? So pricing will happen in this way, in execution time. If your execution is, it costs you around 0.0010 per GB. Let's say your total executions, there are so many executions will be happening, so you will cost around 13 rupees per million executions. So for a month, you'll get these free, but if you exceed, this is the cost. So what if you plan your Azure functions with a premium plan, then the CPU duration, this will be your price for the CPU utilized using, because you may bring hello world program and execute, it doesn't charge you CPU, but you may bring an artificial intelligence and you may bring a program of 1,000 lines or 10,000 lines, and if you want to execute it, you need to have a solid hardware, right? You need to have a solid CPU, solid memory to compile your program and show you the results, right? So at that point of time, you will be using a premium plan, and then it will be costing this much per hour for the memory you used and for the CPU utilization you use. And I'll show you, I'll show you this one. Okay, virtual network pricing. Okay, for virtual network, how pricing happens? For inbound data transfer, it means data which is sent to inbound of your virtual network, which is in same region, same Azure region. It will be around 0.66 per GB. For outbound, it is also same 0.66. But if you are planning to do a VNet peering, what is VNet peering is like, as a part of your networking, you may enable connection between two virtual networks on your local system. You have two virtual networks created, and you can allow the rules, and you can make sure both virtual networks connect with, talk to each other. But in cloud, what happens is like, you need to use the concept of peering. Peering, you should do peering when you want to connect two virtual networks. So if your virtual networks are in zone 1, it will cost you 2.34 rupees per GB. If it is in zone 2, it will be 5 rupees. Zone 3, US government, it is 2.9. So in this way it happens. For zone 2, zone 3, we have a slide for it, and I'll show you what are the different zones. And let's see another one. Functions, I've seen it. Okay, bot servicing. Okay, bots. People know what is a bot. Automatic we have, right? So for that, if you are using a standard channel, you'll be getting unlimited messages. That is for free. And if you are using one, that is also unlimited messages. But if you are using a premium channel, standard channel, you can differentiate, right? In standard, you have limited features, and in premium, you have multiple new different features, right? So if you are using a premium channel, for 10,000 messages, it is free, and for 1,000 messages, it costs you 33 rupees. So you need to be paying 33 rupees for 1,000 messages. Okay, let's say if I am in a different region, so now I may plan to host my bot in East US. So in East US, my bot is there in East US, and I'm planning in US dollar. How it must charge? It will charge $0.5 per 1,000 messages, or let's say I just deploy an INR, the same 33 rupees. Okay, if it is not East US, we'll keep it in some other location. Australia East. Still it is the same. So maybe some changes, some pricing might be common between the regions as well, but majority of the app prices would differ within your region. So these are some of the apps. So Express Route. So Express Route is a most important concept in Azure, because see, in Express Route your bandwidth is 50 Mbps. You need to pay 3,000 rupees price per month. If your bandwidth is 200 Mbps, you need to pay 9,000 rupees 580 per standard price. So what is Express Route, and why? Before going to prices, people need to understand what is Express Route. So Express Route means you will be connecting to your Azure cloud, or you will be connecting to your what we call Azure resources we have, right? So you will be connecting to all those things, right? So to enable a secure connection, we will be creating a way. That way is your Express Route. You have different ways like site-to-site VPN, point-to-site VPN. So these are different things which we get as a part of network certification, AZ-900. You will be learning all these things. So if you are planning to go with the costliest way, then the way is your Express Route. If you are planning to do in a cheap way, that is your site-to-site VPN. So these are high-end terms. Maybe it will be hard to digest, but I'm just showing you. There is no point of remembering, like there will be no question asked in exam like what is the pricing of Express Route for 1000 Mbps or 500 Mbps network bandwidth. There will be nothing questions like that. People might ask you what are the different ways we have to connect our on-premise. It means our own data center with Azure data center. Then you need to select an option like Express Route, site-to-site VPN. That is it's just a generic question. It will ask you, it is trying to understand whether you know the resources which are available in Azure or not. That is only the main motto of this test, nothing else. So let's give another 1 minute for queries, and then I'll be proceeding with the next ones. You can post in the chat box. Okay, if we go for premium and have less CPU usage, then the cost is for premium, or it will be less as the Azure is for. Okay, if we go for premium and have less CPU usage, then the cost is for premium, or it will be less as this is Azure, as this Azure is for pay as you go. So if you are in pay as you go subscription, means you will be using your credit card and you will be paying your amount. That is first point. And second point is like, if you are going for premium and have a less CPU utilization, it means it is your problem. If you have selected premium utilization and if you are not utilizing the resources, then what happens is like, see, if you go with a standard plan, CPU utilization, if it is, let's say CPU utilization, maybe it is costing around 10 rupees per hour if you are in a standard plan. If you are going with a premium plan, CPU utilization will be 15 rupees. So if you are not utilizing the CPU as expected, then it will be not charged. It will be charged whenever you use it. So it is based on the plan you select. If it is premium, it is X plus 1. If it is standard, it is X. Something like that. So I think you understood, or if you are not, please do post it. I'll just try to reiterate it. Okay. If I own a company, want to move the entire secure data to cloud, that is Azure, which option is best to go with? Here, can I use Express Route for secured path or else? Yes, I just discussed the same, right? So you have a company and you have moved. It's like, let's try to answer this question in two ways. You want to move, not you want to move, you have already moved. Let's think like you already moved all your data to cloud. Then you will be using the way like Express Route, site-to-site VPN, point-to-site VPN. So those are the ways you have through which your company people will communicate with the resources hosted in Azure. Okay, let's say if you are planning to move it now, then you will be not needing this Express Route or site-to-site VPN before moving everything. After moving only, we will be using this different ways to connect. So for moving, then what you need to do is like, it is based on your application. You can use Azure Site Recovery. You can use that option and just take information from here, keep it in Azure. For Active Directory, we need to move it. We will be running the Active Directory as a hybrid based until your Active Directory is completely moved to Azure. So till that time, we'll be running in a hybrid based. Hope it is clear. Yeah, okay. Okay, fine. Then let's proceed with the next ones. So I think it is boring, but there will be things, right, where interesting concepts will be there and boring concepts will be there. So this is a part of that boring. So free services, I told you there are some free services in Azure which we will be using or which will not cost. Those are these. So these are the services which are free. There will be no charge incurred on this whenever you use it, however you use it, and what is your plan. For virtual network and web space, maybe there is a limit, but other things there is no limit. You can create n number of virtual networks, n number of network security groups, n number of load balancer with basic plan, but virtual networks up to 50 and your Active Directory with the basic one. Okay. So these are some of the free services which we have. So why I kept this image is like, and one more thing, this is we've used this presentation as one of a one there. It was already pre-prepared one. So I just did some modifications as per my interest, but the main credit goes to the presentation owner. So why we have planned this one is like just to make sure how much you use, you need to pay. If you're not using, you are not paying. That's it. Simple model. Said pay per usage consumption model. If you use it, pay it. If you not use it, don't pay it. Okay. So now a question might arise. Yesterday, what happened? Yesterday or day before yesterday, when we have created a virtual machine, I just tried to delete the virtual machine, but the resources associated with the virtual machines are not deleted. Let's say resources like public IP address, your VNet, your storage accounts. So those are not deleted, right? So you need to make sure those are also deleted. Until and unless you don't delete it, it is under your account and it is under your subscription and you need to pay it. See, if you hold something, it means it is with you. May you use it or you don't use it, but it is with you. So until it is under your control, you need to pay the amount. If it is out of your control, then no need. Okay, for cost savings, Azure Functions, which we've seen some of the pricing. So 1 million executions is free per month. Let's say if you cross 1 million, then you need to pay $20 per execution. And the most cheapest virtual machine you can for $20 per month. Pay per usage services, functions, logic apps, storage, outbound, bandwidth, cognitive services. So these are some of the services which we use and pay as per the usage. Storage, we pay as per the GB. Functions, as per the executions we did. Outbound bandwidth, as per the network traffic or the network packets, network sizes which we sent out from our cloud center to contact some other machines. So in that way. Cognitive API means your bots and all kind of thing. So pay per time per second. So we have services where not only for using GBs, where not only for using, but for holding the resources you need to pay. It means per second billing means billing stops when your virtual machine is stopped. So we said like virtual machine will be, if your virtual machine is being utilized for 1 hour, you will be paying 10 rupees or 5 rupees. So it is based on hours, right? So every second counts. If it crosses, if it is stopped, nothing you'll be paying on virtual machine. But you'll be paying on the resources which are occupied by virtual machine, which we just discussed, the storage resources, virtual network and all those. So flexibility in pricing, it is the pricing factors are so many factors, like your computing power, the storage devices or the racks which we have in data center, right? For those you need to pay, and whether you use or not, it's under your control. You need to pay, and you may get discounts when you are going in a commitment. And multi-tenant or isolated environment. Multi-tenant means you need to plan your things in one tenant. You have 2-3 applications, but you need to use one tenant to host all the 3 applications. Isolated environment, it means if you are going for isolated environment, then you will need to pay a bit more pricing than expected. Pay per bandwidth, this applies for your networks. First 5 GB is free. Inbound data, all the inbound data will be free. So for outbound data, so over there we've seen zones, right? So these are the zones which I said we'll be showing in one of our slide. So zone 1 will accomplish your North America and European Union without Germany. DE zone 1, DE means your Dutch, sorry, Dutch, yeah, Dutch is different, Deutschland, we call Germany as Deutschland as well. So DE zone 1 is your Germany zone, where outbound data costs 0.057 per GB, and zone 2 comprises your Asia, Africa and Oceania, and zone 3 comprises your Brazil. So as of now we have regions in these 3 regions only, and we are running from here. So 1 PB, people might be knowing PB, it's a petabyte, so it may help you transfer around $52,000 for one transfer. So zones for billing purposes. Why zones for billing purposes and how it runs? So basing on zone also, the pricing factors depends. If you are in zone 1, you will be paying 1 rupee. If you are in zone 2, you may be paying 3 rupees. If you are in zone 3, you may be paying 2 rupees. So it's basing on the zone. So it is like, see, zone is a geographical grouping of Azure regions for billing. So just to make sure your billing happening in a proper way, you need to make sure which zone you are hosting your application. So you are in India and you are planning in US, then you need to follow the rules in US. If you are in India and if you are planning for India, then you need to follow the rules of India. So which we just discussed, zone 1 comprises of United States, Europe, Canada, UK and France. Zone 2, Asia Pacific, Japan, Australia, India, and Korea. Zone 3, your Brazil South. B Zone 1, Germany North, and Germany Central. So I think we are almost at the end of our training, pricing calculator. So okay, there is one question. We'll check it. We'll check it maybe around the question hour. So pricing calculator means why, how the pricing will be calculated, what is the way. So you can use this website, you can go there and you can check your price, how it is running, how it will go. Okay, just give me 1 minute, I will check for your feedback form. I don't think Prithvi, or I think he's on. Okay, sorry. I thought he's not there. Okay. So pricing calculator, you can go to this zone and you can plan your pricing, how and how much is your budget and how many resources you are planning to use and what it will cost. So everybody know estimates are 100% accurate. We cannot form it. So, configurable options. These are the different configure options. It is based on your region, based on your tier, based on your subscription type, based on your options you choose. So many things. So give me a minute, I'll show you the support level things from our portal. I think today it is a heavy session of theory, but no other way. So I think people can see my screen, right? Yes. So this is the option which we use for help and support. So if you go here, you have the different support plans. So these are the support plans which we have in Azure. So a basic support plan, if you can plan to upgrade, developer, standard, professional. So basing on your support plan, you will get support from Azure. So 24/7 access to customer services, documents, white papers. But if you go with this last one, so I'm not focusing on last one, I'm just showing you the differences. If you go for professional direct, you have these many extra features. So over here, if you plan this, you business hours access to support engineers via email. So you cannot contact them. You can just only draft an email, and every communication will be running on email. No point of calling and asking them. So here, if you choose this plan, you'll get a chance to run by a phone and email. This is also seen. And next, if you go for a last plan, you will be having a dedicated manager to manage your Azure account. So you have a Pro Direct Delivery Manager, which is allocated by Microsoft, and he will be managing all your cloud infrastructure through Microsoft. He'll be taking care of from there, and he will be giving you all the recommendations and support, whatever you need. So then this we call it as an SLA. People might not have info on this. See, I think the target audience in our session would be students, right? So you may not have much more information on this. I'll just try to make it clear. So SLA means service level agreements. Why do we need service level agreements, and what is this CBA? So SEV means severity level C, severity level B, severity level A. So if it is a critical issue, it means your application is not running, and due to that, what we call your business is stopped. Let's say there is a sale on Flipkart website, and unexpectedly something happened and your website is crashed. So that is a critical business impact, because your business is completely stopped. Nobody is buying, nobody is able to see, everybody is complaining that your website is not running. That is a critical business impact. So if your website stops for few seconds, there will be a huge loss. Everybody knows it. So people don't want to do that. Let's say if you are in that case, to get support, to get resolve that issue, you will be using severity level A. Means it is a very high level issue where nothing is happening. Then it comes a category where severity level A, you can raise it to Microsoft. People would resolve within 1 hour. You rise at 6 o'clock, it will be resolved by 7 o'clock. If it is severity level B, it will be resolved by 4 hours. It will be severity level C, it will be resolved by 8 business hours. Just please make sure business hours are different, 4 hours are different. Business are different, 8 hours are different. Business hours generally 9 to 6 or 9 to 7 we call it, right? So basing on the region you are in, the business hours apply, and Microsoft will resolve the issue for you on behalf of you. If you are not capable to resolve it, if it is a data center issue, if something else. So everything we are on Zelf, we cannot do it, right? So there is some area which we lack the expertise. For that, we have experts which are deployed in Microsoft, and those people will come into the picture and they will resolve it. So for that, there is costing, and this is the costing you need to pay. For the first level, it is 29. Second level is 100. Third level is $1,000 per month. For the professional direct, what we call support plans, you choose. So you need to choose any of the plan, and you can run it. And see, this is a subscription. I have free trial subscription. Subscription with technical support included means my support and my subscription doesn't have those things. So as of now, I need to enable some other options, so I'm not getting it. For my free trial subscription, I can upgrade my things to this levels, and I can make sure my Azure environment is strong and compatible to what we call run the show as expected. And I will show you the Azure monitor, and then I'll go to your Azure help. I think we need to show you that monitor. So this is your Azure monitor. So here you can monitor all the things. These are metrics. We told, right, metrics and logs. From here you can plan. Okay, let's activate one metric, and how we can activate a metric. We'll just try to activate one metric and make sure how it runs. Okay, I am planning to activate a metric on my virtual machine. Okay, let's apply it. Okay, what is my metric I want to see? It is a virtual machine, right? So virtual machine, what is a metric I want to see? So whenever there is, let's see something useful, percentage CPU. Whenever is my CPU utilization is maximum, it's max. Aggregation max minimum count. So let's go with this one. Okay. So if I am here and I'm going with the count, if I'm going with average memory utilization, then that is one metric. I will get an alert. So if I keep it as maximum, it means whenever there is a maximum utilization, I need to get an alert. Let's say now I'll add a metric for it. How another metric we'll see. Inbound flows and aggregation will be your max. So I have created two metrics for my virtual machine. If there is something wrong which is happening here, immediately I'll get an email stating that, see, this is not working as expected. So how do you plan that? You need to enter your email address and all the information over here so that it will send you an alert. Okay, now let's create one alert also. Okay, see how much it is. Whenever your CPU utilization percent is greater than the logic defined, it will be get an alert, but it will cost you 0.10 US dollars or monthly cost. So you're understanding, right, how it is running. So you can give the rule name, you can give the severity which we just seen, severe level. It's like it is just raising you one alarm stating that it is a severity level 3 problem. Severity level 3 problem means you need to immediately go there and fix it immediately, because it might affect your environment, and at the end of the day maybe you may not get a chance to run it. So here you will give your threshold value. If it is greater than or maximum, how much? Let's say if it is more than 90%. Whenever the maximum percentage CPU is greater than 90%, you will get this alert. Okay, when it will be collecting your information. Frequency of evaluation, 1 minute. Aggregation of granularity. It means it creates a report for every 5 minutes, but data collection will be happening for every 1 minute. So in this way, you will create alerts, and those alerts will be displayed to your Azure monitor. And from your Azure monitor, you will be what we say verifying and just trying to plan how to resolve that one. So hope you understood how we'll monitor and all those things. So before going to the next one, can we have any questions? If you have any questions, please do post here. Let's give a minute or two if you have any. Okay, there was one question earlier. How to keep costs in check by creating Azure policy or by Azure Advisor. So costs in check, you can create an Azure policy for your budget, and Azure Advisor, it helps you to minimize the cost. If you are if Azure is charging you $100 per month for an unnecessary resources, it will tell you you can delete those if you are not using it. It will just suggest you, it will give you suggestions. How can you reduce your cost? That is only the fundamental use of your Azure Advisor. But by creating policy, you are creating a rule stating that it should run in this way, it should not cross this. If it crosses this, it should stop in that way. Okay, so any other questions, or we can proceed ahead? Okay, there was one yes. I hope everyone is following, right? Okay, can you post in the chat as well? I don't know if a single guy is clicking on all the like buttons or how it is running. Okay. Okay, there are few S's. Okay. Okay, just give me a minute. I'll just try to verify the next ones. Okay. Okay. So again, coming back to here, some other concepts we left. We need to finish that as well. So the cost of your server is more than the cost of your, not just your hardware. It is the cost of your hardware as well. Because you may think like, see, I'm only using a virtual machine. Why Azure is charging me in this huge? Let's say if I'm using one Azure Functions app, and I just only copy paste my code and execute it. That's it only I'm doing. But why Azure is charging me 0.013 rupees, or how for hour, for million and transactions? How? Because there are other charges, because the charge not only includes the usage, your pay per second, or else the paper information transmitted. So we just said, right? So it is not only that, it comprises of multiple other areas, and those are your data center needs to have electricity, all your server racks needs cooling, there should be an internet provider. If you have racks, there should be some space, physical space. For that, we need a building. You need to have a set up a labor to make sure everything is clear, correct, and everything is maintained clean and proper. Maintenance labor and backup. Backup means Azure stores every information in 3 copies. LRS GRS principle, where local storage, geo redundant storage. So it stores every information in 3 copies just to make sure if you forget or if something is lost in one data center, you can retrieve immediately from the copied other area. So there are n number of factors, and these are some of the factors which are affecting the cost. So this is a total cost ownership calculator. You can use it and you can plan your cost ownership. So best practices to minimize your Azure cost. So best practices is like someone asked this question, Azure advisor something like so. Majority your Azure advisors can suggest you a lots of cost savings. It is the only and the not only it is the best way to save your money. It will help you to understand where you are unnecessarily utilizing your money and where you are wasting your money. So for that you will be using your Azure advisor. We have already shown it and people know the look and feel about it, so not focusing much of it. And next, auto shutdown of your dev and QA resources. What is auto shutdown and dev and QA? So every environment has 3 different sub environments. Sorry, every IT environment has 3 different phases in it. The first one is your development, quality, and production. So production is the one we'll be seeing. So if you log into airmeet.com, we think that is only one airmate.com is there and nothing is running by the company, and we believe this is only there. No, but there is another airmate.com at the back end at the company side where they do developments over it. They don't release it to common public. They do R&D over there. There was a question like sandbox, ask for sandbox. The dev and QA resources are almost similar to sandbox. We do multiple deployments, we do multiple developments, we do new code changes, build new code, inject code, do whatever we want, and then we will move it to our quality to make sure our quality environment is and working as expected. And guys, remember, your quality environment is copy of your production environment. It's like if your quality environment is strong enough and working properly, then your production is working. So Airmeet or your Flipkart or whatever you are seeing, every area or every resources have 3 levels in it, where one you develop, second you test, third one you deploy for all the customers all over the world. So for dev and QA resources, means the development and your testing environments, you can just shut it down. Your virtual machines, you can stop your virtual so that there will be no processes happening and no on your virtual machines, and no virtual machine cost, virtual network costs will happen because it will stop. There will be no connectivity happening for it. So multiple costs will be reduced. So you may think like if you are going with an individual, maybe you may have 5 virtual machines or 4 virtual machines. Just for practice, you may have created it. By stopping 1 or 2, you may not see the difference. But assume you are in a big IT enterprise where you have thousands and hundreds of development and testing environments, then stopping all those will save you some thousands of dollars, which will definitely help the company reducing its budget. Pool and archive storage wherever possible. Archive storage, and remember, when you are suggesting these things, you may get questions over this kind of you may get questions on storage. Let's say if you are using a data if you are planning to use a data for every 1 year, in which type of storage you would store it? Would you choose hot? Would you choose cool? Would you choose archive? Or else there will be a question like you are retrieving some information for every 2 years. In which type of storage tier you will store it? Whether it's cool, hot, and archive. So remember, if you are using hot, it means every day you will be utilizing it. Every day, every week, every month. Means majority of the time you will be utilizing it. But if you select cool, you will be using sometimes, not but definitely, maybe 2-3 months, maybe 6 months or 1 month, in that way. Once in a month, maybe once in a week, once in every 6 months, in that way. But if you plan to keep it to archive, then the main question arises over here. Archive means they will be archiving all your data just to make sure your storage is low and reduce your costs. But whenever you are retrieving your data from archive, you need to pay double the amount of hot. Hot is costly. Cool is somewhere much more. Let's say hot is X, cool is 2X, and your archive would be 4X. Just try to understand this basic principle. So you just need to make sure which data you are using. So that is then you can analyze and keep the plan for your storage. Reserved instances. Reserved instances means just only important instance for this activity. Don't plan like that. Just try to be generalized. If you are really planning for a reserved instance, make a strong business justification for it. Configure alerts when billing exceeds the expected value. Yes, we just showed that one. Alerts, how do we configure? Use policies to restrict access to certain expensive resources for SQL databases or some other databases. You can restrict the access that not everybody should create, not everybody should delete, deploy, execute queries as they want, as they like. So you can create policies and restrict their access. And auto scaling of resources. So whenever you don't want, just don't go with 10 CPU core at one time. Create auto scaling. Run with 2 or 4. If you need it, it will automatically scale to 10. If you don't need it, it will automatically come back to 4 and 2. Use that one to reduce your cost. Downsize when the resources are over provisioned. So if you have 30, 40 VMs which are not required, you have only 20 employees, but you have 40 VMs. What is the use? So delete those things and unnecessarily don't create any chunks. You can reduce your data. Ensure every resource has owner tags. Tags means it's just a tag. It's a common name. You have a college ID card tag, right? It just means it is yours. You are the owner. It means it shows that you are a person related to that college. In the same way, every resource has a tag. It means this person is responsible for that resource. If there is a problem with that resource, people will reach out to him and he would keep providing the explanation on it. Cost management, cost of every resource you can see over there, and the cost can be effectively managed over there. Another free tool inside Azure to analyze spending, it is your cost management. See, this is your cost management, and this is a free tool, no need of payment over here. It will help you to understand what is your current billing amount, how much you need to pay for this month, how much did you utilize, where did you utilize, where did all your money gone. So if say unexpectedly you get a bill of $10,000 for this month, you may be not knowing how I got $10,000. What is the proof that I got $10,000? Then you will be coming to this cost management, and there you have pie charts and circle charts, right? You will be analyzing them, opening it, going resource by resource and understanding, okay, I invested $20 in my virtual machine, I invested $30 in my VNet, all those things. Just for analysis purpose while paying amount to Azure. Okay, give me a second. I'll show you the cost management screen, how it looks. See, this is the cost management of my machine. So I need to pay 1,280 rupees INR. Okay. How I need to pay 1,280? What is the reason? For my storage, I am paying 1,000 rupees. For my virtual machines, I am paying 200. For virtual network, 65 rupees. DNS, 10 rupees. Bandwidth, 07 rupees. And something else is there for log analytics, some other rupees. For location, I'm using US Central, so that costs 1,269. It's like it is trying to differentiate everything. This is as per resource group. So one resource group costs 1,200. Another resource group sums up to form 58 rupees. So in that way, so it just helps you to cut down your costs and understand, okay, at this section I utilized more. That is the reason I got heavy amount. So see, service name for storage, it is costing me 1,000 rupees. Okay, so this is the storage chart I can get. So on October 1st, it is 0, gradually increasing 238, 406, 574, 784. So finally, for today, it is 1,004. So you can gradually understand and you can plan. Cost alerts, you can plan it here like your budget. You can just add and you can keep an alert. See, billing month amount, give your budget amount threshold. So if it is $1,000 I give, should not cross my 50% threshold, then I'll keep a threshold level over here that it should not cost 50%, and every month it will be resetting and it will run. So here forecast it is 1200. So I think you are understanding, right, how we will be creating your alerts and how it runs. So if I give next, it will give my this one. It will me ask for the email address where I need to give my email address, and then it run the show. For how much I need to get alert? For 50% of my billing means 500 rupees. I need to get an alert. Action group it is not selected. We need to create an action group over here. Add an action group. That also requires a resource group. So everything in Azure requires storage. So everything will be running in costing. Everything fine at the end of the day will be affecting your costing. Nothing is free. A limited resource. Okay. Okay, how to do traffic management in Azure? Yes, traffic management, we have multiple resources, right? You will be using a load balancer, you will be using a web application filter, you will be using a standard load balancer or a basic load balancer to filter your L7, L4, L5 based network trafficking. So those things we'll be using. So there are multiple resources. You can use, let's say if you have an SAP environment, we'll have a web dispatcher deployed on Azure, and that will majority help you distribute your load. So I think we are at the top of the clock for today. It is 5:50. So if you have any queries, please do post it. And a little bit of syllabus is pending. I'll just try to finish it tomorrow in the first 15 or 30 minutes, and we can discuss on the required ones which we said. Question sign. Yeah, and feedback time as well. So guys, can someone confirm whether you are able to understand what we are discussing, or this is something out of the syllabus and we are sitting here and discussing? Okay. I can see only emojis running on my screen. There is one Namaste emoji also. I don't know what it means. Okay, so jokes apart, so queries, any queries, or we are good to close for the today? So you can post anything, maybe today, yesterday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever, or tomorrow's as well. Tomorrow's also, if we have some query, you can post it. I think everybody understood what we have discussed for today, not till now. Okay, will there be any more technical sessions about Azure? Technical sessions about Azure means, can you be a bit more specific? So, are you planning for next level certifications, or you are asking for technical sessions as a part of AZ-900? Okay, yeah, for 203 developer role, yes. We do have sessions as well. We'll be coming further. I think we'll be intimating again. There will be another sessions. New sessions will be coming. I believe we may plan for AI and 104, maybe in the next phase. But I'm not sure for 203. But I'll just check, and if there's a chance, I'll do let you know. And when I register for Azure Fundamental exam schedule, they are asking for organization, company, size, group. Yeah, it is entirely fine. You can just give your details like your college name, That's it. No need of mentioning all those things. They'll just ask as a part of their what we call policy, but it is entirely fine. You can give your existing information only. Okay, we have max on 7 minutes. So guys, let me tell you what happens is like after taking this certification or why we are taking this certification or what is the point of running this training sessions is like. So maybe people from the attendees list are a part of final year B.Techs or maybe a part of third year of B.Techs. So why and what this would be helpful is like, so when you go for an interview, people may start asking, I think I already discussed it, but when you do a certificate, it will help you to differentiate yourself from others. And also there is a chance to take your test for free of cost. So I suggest people to go with the certification, try to write it, understand how Microsoft is assessing you. But before planning for certification, I suggest you should have a strong read on all the topics, not only on this test or not only on the topics which we discussed. See, I may not get a chance to discuss everything in this session because we have limited timelines. So you may sit for a while, maybe take a 15 minute, sorry, maybe take a 15-day break, or maybe start preparing for 15 days or 1 month. Just try to analyze everything, each and everything. I will give you all the URLs and all the locations where you will get your learning resources. You can go there, explore a bit more and understand, use the sandboxes, do the on-hands experience, get the on-hands experience, and then you can plan for your certification. Don't blindly go for certification. It's a waste of time. Because see, if you give certification and by God's grace and by your knowledge, if you are passed, then it will give you a difference in your candidature. Without having knowledge on it, getting a certification is waste of cost, as per my what we call suggestion. So just try to get a gist of everything, understand it, and then go for exam. You will be super confident and you can easily crack it. And trust me, one of the easy tests which I wrote is AZ-900 because it is the first level of your test. You are not going to the last level, you are not going to the mid level, nothing like that. You are going to the first level, so you can easily get through it. Okay, what is the significance of ISO certification by an organization? Yes, so ISO certification by an organization means which one you are pointing. It's like, are you pointing for the ISO certification by Microsoft Azure or else an ISO certification by the respective IT enterprise which seeks to get a subscription in Azure? Okay, general organization. So general organization, it is just to make. Yeah, I'm sorry. So general organization, it means just to make sure you are following and you are in a compliance with all the rules made down by the local certification body. So see, if I complete my B.Tech, if I complete my M.Tech, what is the point of giving me certification? I go for some company and how would they trust me that I have some knowledge just as a certification? In the same way, ISO certifications are attained to multiple organizations just to make sure what are all the resources they are providing. All those are under control and all those are following the significant norms. Okay, any ITS related organization as an example. Okay, any ITS related organization example. It's like I didn't understood your question. This point, I didn't understood your point. This one, third one. Okay, is that for the commonalities related to technologies? Hmm, I'm sorry, I'm not able to get to the point. Okay, so 2 more minutes. I think if everybody is fine, we can close the session. Maybe Kiran, you may be a bit more specific on your question, or else you can post your query in Telegram, because I think it's almost at the top of the hour. We can close it. You may post in a Telegram group, and I would be responding over that. Yeah. So this is for today, guys. Please do go give your feedback. It is much more valuable for us, valuable for you too, to provide a strong sessions like this further. So I think today we can